Today, we begin with Justin Gaethje, revealing that his fight pay has remained unchanged despite the UFC's massive new broadcast deal with Paramount. UFC President Dana White previously claimed that the deal would result in increased earnings for fighters, a statement that was echoed by commentator Daniel Cormier, who suggested athletes were already seeing financial benefits. However, Gaethje's comments appear to contradict those claims. UFC 324 marks the first event under the UFC's new Paramount agreement, a deal reportedly worth over $7 billion and one that eliminates traditional pay-per-view in the United States. Naturally, this raised expectations that fighters would receive a larger share of the revenue. During UFC 324 Media Day, Gaethje was asked directly whether his compensation had increased as a result of the new deal. His response was blunt and candid. Gaethje pointed out that despite earning 14 performance bonuses throughout his UFC career, his total earnings from those bonuses still did not reach $1 million, something he believes is fundamentally wrong. He stated that fighters in his position should be earning significantly more and having better opportunities to make long-term financial decisions. Gaethje made it clear that, contrary to public statements, he is not receiving even $1 extra for competing on this card compared to what he would have earned before the Paramount deal. Despite his frustrations, Gaethje expressed gratitude for what his career has allowed him to do. He shared that some of his smartest financial decisions included investing in commercial property and purchasing a home in Arizona near his parents, which his sister now rents. Most importantly, he emphasized the value of being able to support his family, helping his parents, assisting his siblings, giving meaningful gifts, and creating memories through vacations. Gaethje stressed that time spent with family is priceless and something money can never replace. His remarks have reignited the ongoing debate around fighter pay and whether athletes will truly benefit from the UFC's growing media deals in the future. Israel Adesanya has made it clear that he is not particularly impressed with the current state of the UFC's middleweight division. As speculation continues to grow around how much longer the former champion will remain active, Adesanya openly admitted that the 185-pound division no longer excites him the way it once did. Adesanya is scheduled to face the rising and powerful striker Joe Pyfer on March 28th in Seattle, a matchup that many see as a test of whether the former champion still has elite-level motivation. Ahead of the fight, Adesanya appeared on the Ariel Helwani show, where he was asked about his current mindset, his motivation to keep fighting, and whether another title run is a priority for him. In response, Adesanya explained that while he remains confident in who he is as a fighter, the middleweight division feels very different compared to when he was dominating it. He acknowledged that fans enjoyed seeing him as champion, but emphasized that chasing the belt is no longer his primary focus. According to Adesanya, a title opportunity will come naturally if and when the moment is right. He went on to question when the middleweight division last truly felt exciting, noting that the most significant recent moment was Dricus du Plessis winning the title. Since then, Adesanya suggested there hasn't been much that captured widespread attention or generated real buzz, adding that the lack of recent UFC events has also contributed to the division feeling stagnant. Many fans would likely agree with his assessment. Adesanya's rise through the middleweight ranks was one of the most memorable runs in the division's history, highlighted by elite striking performances and his intense rivalry with Alex Pereira. That era set a high standard that the current landscape has struggled to match. Adesanya was also asked about the possibility of competing on the rumored White House UFC card. While he did not dismiss the idea, he made it clear that he would prefer to fight in front of genuine MMA fans, rather than a crowd filled with political figures who may not truly care about the sport. He emphasized that fans deserve the opportunity to attend and experience the fights live. If Adesanya defeats Joe Pyfer, the question now becomes whether the UFC will look to add him to that historic event and potentially reignite interest in the middleweight division. Sean O'Malley has issued an apology to Song Yadong following backlash over a controversial moment during their initial face-off. The former UFC bantamweight champion drew criticism after wearing a face mask while squaring off with Song for the cameras, a move that the Chinese contender and many fans viewed as inappropriate. After the incident, Song Yadong publicly expressed his displeasure, and the situation quickly gained attention online. Speaking with the media ahead of UFC 324, O'Malley was asked to explain his decision and whether he regretted it. O'Malley clarified that his intentions were never meant to be offensive, stating that it was supposed to be a lighthearted and silly joke that was taken the wrong way. He acknowledged the reaction and offered a direct apology, saying he was sorry if anyone felt offended by his actions. When Song Yadong was later asked to comment on the situation during Media Day, he accepted the apology but made his stance clear. Song emphasized that racism has no place in MMA and that the sport should remain strictly about competition. He noted that O'Malley had already expressed regret in an interview with Chinese media and apologized to fans, suggesting that the incident may have been intended as a psychological tactic. Despite that, Song made it clear that he was not affected and remained fully focused on winning the fight. With the controversy addressed, attention quickly shifted back to the matchup itself and what could come next for O'Malley. When asked about his future plans, should he win on Saturday, O'Malley did not hesitate to call for a high-profile rematch with Petr Yan. While stressing that he is not overlooking Song, O'Malley said that a dominant performance would justify a second fight with Yan, potentially on the rumored White House UFC card. He admitted he is trying to manifest that opportunity and believes a strong showing would make the matchup inevitable. Adding further intrigue, bantamweight contender Corey Sandhagen shared his prediction for the fight during a recent appearance with Ariel Helwani. Sandhagen picked O'Malley to win, explaining that Song's tendency to lunge into big shots could work against him. He noted that O'Malley's length, movement, and striking style make him difficult to reach, and unless Song shifts to wrestling or turns the fight gritty, it could be a very challenging night for him. Michael Chandler has reacted to recent comments from UFC President Dana White that appear to shut down any possibility of a long-anticipated fight with Conor McGregor. While many believe White has completely closed the door on the matchup, Chandler is still holding on to hope that the fight can eventually materialize. Despite multiple delays and even a canceled bout, Chandler has remained persistent in campaigning for a showdown with McGregor. However, during a recent interview with Complex, Dana White was asked whether McGregor versus Chandler could be featured on the rumored White House UFC card. White not only dismissed the idea, but also noted that the matchup was something the UFC had considered years ago. Shortly after, reports surfaced that Dana White had also shut down rumors of a potential McGregor versus Jorge Masvidal fight. Following those comments, Chandler appeared on the Ariel Helwani show, where he was asked to respond to White's stance. Chandler admitted that the remarks were discouraging, but maintained a wait-and-see attitude. He said that no one truly knows what fights will end up on the White House card, and emphasized that nothing is ever guaranteed in this sport. While acknowledging that Dana White's comments were not encouraging, Chandler stressed that all he can do is focus on what he can control. When Helwani suggested that Chandler might still be McGregor's preferred opponent, Chandler expressed confidence in Conor's character. He said that McGregor is more of a man of his word than many people give him credit for. Although Chandler acknowledged McGregor's past controversies and impulsive moments, he believes Conor genuinely wants to honor their Ultimate Fighter commitment and settle their unfinished business inside the Octagon. During the interview, Chandler also admitted that he currently has no alternative plans. He explained that he refuses to consider a backup option until the McGregor fight is completely off the table. According to Chandler, Plan A remains the only plan until it is fully exhausted. As of now, he is structuring his training, diet, and preparation around a potential June fight, with the ultimate goal being a showdown with McGregor on the White House card. For Chandler, hope remains alive, even if the odds appear slimmer than ever. Michael Chandler has expressed interest in a potential wrestling matchup with Arman Tsarukyan, adding another intriguing layer to their ongoing back and forth. The two fighters have exchanged verbal jabs in recent weeks, particularly after Tsarukyan delivered a dominant performance against Lance Palmer at the recent Reason Raf Af event, which reignited discussion around crossover wrestling-style matchups involving MMA fighters. When Chandler was asked about the possibility of stepping into a wrestling match against Tsarukyan, he did not dismiss the idea. While making it clear that his primary focus remains competing on the rumored White House UFC card, Chandler acknowledged that he would be open to testing himself against Tsarukyan in a pure grappling contest. His response suggested both confidence and curiosity, as he appeared unfazed by the stylistic challenge Tsarukyan would present. Chandler emphasized that, at this stage, his Plan A is still centered around fighting on the biggest stage possible and securing a high-profile bout that aligns with his long-term goals. However, he made it equally clear that a wrestling match with Tsarukyan is something he would seriously consider if the opportunity arises. According to Chandler, fans should not be surprised if a promotion like RF or a similar organization attempts to put the matchup together, especially given the growing popularity of specialty grappling events. The idea of Chandler versus Tsarukyan in a wrestling match has captured attention because of the contrast in styles and backgrounds. Tsarukyan is widely regarded as one of the most technically sound grapplers in the UFC's lightweight division, while Chandler brings explosive athleticism, strength, and a long history of wrestling at a high level. A matchup between the two under wrestling rules would offer a rare glimpse into how their skill sets translate outside of the octagon. Although nothing has been officially announced, Chandler's comments suggest that he is keeping his options open. For now, his focus remains on securing a major fight, but the door appears to be open for a grappling showdown that could further fuel interest between him and Tsarukyan. Paddy Pimblett has reacted to growing speculation surrounding Justin Gaethje after a photo surfaced online showing what appeared to be a staph infection on Gaethje's neck ahead of UFC 324. The image quickly sparked concern among fans, as staph infections can be serious and, in some cases, impact a fighter's health and performance. Since the photo began circulating, debate has intensified over whether the issue could affect Gaethje inside the octagon this weekend. When Pimblett was asked about the situation during Media Day, the outspoken lightweight did not hold back and made it clear that the rumors would not change his mindset going into the fight. Pimblett acknowledged that he had seen the image, but dismissed it as irrelevant to his preparation. He stated that if Gaethje does have a staph infection, then it is simply something Gaethje will have to deal with. According to Pimblett, it makes no difference to him whether his opponent is dealing with an infection or not, as his intention remains the same, to go in and finish the fight decisively. He added that fighters in his gym have competed with staph infections before and still managed to score first-round knockouts, suggesting that the condition does not always have a major impact on performance. Pimblett also predicted that if he wins, the staph infection narrative will quickly turn into an excuse used by critics to downplay his victory. He joked that people would claim Gaethje's condition was the real reason for the result, rather than giving him credit. Despite the noise surrounding the situation, Pimblett emphasized that he is focused solely on showing up, performing, and proving that when he is at his best, he believes no one can beat him. Following Pimblett's comments, further attention was drawn to Gaethje after a more recent photo circulated on social media. In the image, Gaethje appears to be wearing a bandage on his neck, seemingly covering the affected area. One user on X pointed out that the wound still looked open, which only fueled further speculation ahead of the fight. All eyes will now be on Gaethje to see if he addresses the situation after the bout and whether the controversy plays any role in the outcome once the cage door closes. The MMA community has been buzzing after new photos surfaced showing Paddy Pimblett's dramatic body transformation ahead of UFC 324. Known for undergoing extreme physical changes between fights, Pimblett once again shocked fans by appearing shredded and fully dialed in just days before stepping into the octagon. Images circulating online show Pimblett in exceptional shape, a stark contrast to how he looked only weeks earlier. The photos immediately sparked widespread reaction across social media, with fans and fellow fighters expressing amazement at his ability to shed weight so rapidly. Many compared his transformation to some of the most dramatic weight cuts in MMA history, joking that he had borrowed Conor McGregor's gains and run with them. Others pointed out how unbelievable it was to see Pimblett go from visibly out of shape to looking fight-ready in such a short span of time. Several fans remarked that his ability to cut weight after after carrying noticeable body fat just months ago is almost baffling. Some even suggested his methods should be studied, calling him the ultimate example of extreme weight manipulation in modern MMA. Despite the jokes, there was also genuine praise for his current physique, with many agreeing that he looks stronger and more powerful than ever. Fans also recalled that just over a month ago, Pimblett appeared alongside popular streamer Showspeed and looked noticeably heavier at the time. The comparison highlighted just how much body fat he appears to have lost in a relatively short period, further fueling discussion about his discipline and preparation leading into fight week. With Pimblett officially locking in his weight for UFC 324, attention has now shifted toward his upcoming matchup. Supporters are eager to see whether his physical condition translates into a dominant performance inside the cage, while critics remain skeptical of such drastic fluctuations. As the anticipation builds, fans are now debating the big question: will Paddy Pimblett's transformation give him the edge, or will Justin Gaethje prove too much on fight night? Share your predictions and join the conversation. That wraps up today's update. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest MMA news. We'll see you next time.